Hello and welcome to Columbus Local Podcast. I am Len D'Amico and this is episode number 97. And tonight we bring back Tony Casa of Zoo Trippin. And he's brought somebody with him today.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony, say hi.
Hi. How's it going, gang?
Tony Casa of Zoo Trippin, and he's going to introduce somebody.
Yeah, live from New York City, Rockefeller Plaza in Studio 1A. That's right. Perfect. I scream right into the mic. That's how you blow a mic. No, we're here with Dennis Manns, our new drummer for ZT.
Thank you, buddy.
Dennis Manns, welcome, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man.
Yes, sir. So, how long have you been the drummer for Zoo Trippin?
I don't even know now. What is it? Been since like August? Somewhere
August
in
of
there?
2024?
Yeah, and then when was your first show? Was that also August?
I think so. I think it was Acoustic Hookah.
Oh, yeah. That's
show.
a good first show to have, actually. You've heard of Acoustic Hookah,
I
right?
have.
Oh,
Absolutely.
dude, they're so
Yeah.
good. I was blown away that night, honestly.
Very cool.
Have you seen them before?
No, never.
And you're a jam band guy.
I know. All my buddies always bug me to go to Hookahville every single year, and I'm like, I don't know. Regret it now. I should have went.
They are awesome.
Killer dudes.
So, yeah, he's been since August.
Yeah, somewhere there.
Very good. Very good. Absolutely. And so for you, Dennis, how long have you been a drummer?
Oh, forever. I've, been drumming since.
Drumming out of the womb?
Oh, yeah. Straight out of the womb.
When's the first time you remember, playing on a kit?
I don't know. It's literally always been a part of my life. My parents have got videos, from when I was a little kid, playing on little kid sets and stuff like that. But
Do you play any other instruments aside from drumming?
yeah, I play guitar, a little bass, and try to fuck around on piano. Stay in C major, white keys.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even know that personally. I didn't know he played piano at all. That's awesome.
No, like I said, I play in C major. You got another trick.
Your next song's in C major. Find out what it's all about.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's how our old drummer, he was also like multi-instrumentalist and this and that. But
Oh, Tyler's such a good keys player though.
He
He is
is.
a beast, man.
But where you got him completely trumped is that you can work on cars, and that's a huge deal.
Yeah, but they don't give a shit about that in the music though.
No, we give a shit about that as a
Well, I
band.
guess-
We're like,
I
we
guess
get that van out there on the road, old Portugal the van. That's what we named our van.
I had my first run-in with the exact same van. My brother's got that same van, and
The Ford Econoline.
Yeah, the 350. Dude, he had a world of issues when he came back to visit this past weekend, and I don't ever want to work on one of them fuckers again.
Oh, that's too bad, because we're going to drive one around till it breaks down. I feel bad for you, buddy.
It was the worst. And it was simple stuff like a starter, And
So if we were to sell Portugal the van, what's the move? What's the new van? Is it a Chevy? Because I'm a Chevy guy over Ford, I guess. What about you? What's your move, Len?
It's get a truck with a trailer
Really?
because trucks are easy to work on.
I guess that is how the
Easier.
guys.
I wouldn't say easy, but easier.
Well, true. There's a
Lot of
few
room.
bands that we have played with that would drive a truck and they would tow a trailer, but it always. I mean, the cab of those trucks looked like a disaster, man. It was so tight. Glow Stick Willie. Now they're called just Glow Stick. They did the truck thing, but there was also 3 members.
Oh,
A little bit easier, I guess.
I don't know.
2 small guys and Buddha.
Where do you guys stay when you're on the road?
In the van.
Yeah. So what about a RV type scenario towing?
That
your
was a
gear?
conversation a while back, wasn't it?
That would kind of be my move. I know guys that do
feels
that.
like it'd be hard to work on too, though, right?
It's just all so
It doesn't have to
tight
be an
and
art.
crammed in there, It sucks.
Engine-wise.
Yeah.
So truck then. He's talking.
Those
Logic.
Econolines, you can't do anything from the front except bare minimum stuff. Like, it's all got to be done from the inside. You got to take that center console apart.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's how you get to the back of the engine.
So what's an easy one to work? Like our previous band van, we named it John Claude Band Van, and it was a Chevy Astro. But that also felt very compact, and it was just a terrible vehicle, period.
Yeah, vans are just not fun in general.
All right, trucks is the for you new bands at home listening in right now. Trucks towing a trailer.
I guess so. Unless you don't want to, or if you don't want to work on a van.
Maybe you can put a little cab cover in there and build bunks in the actual truck bed. Because what we did with the van is we built bunks. We tore out the back 2 rows. Bought the van off of a Sunrise Ministries, is I believe the church that we bought it off of. And bless their hearts, they maintain it like a fleet vehicle. So that's good. Look for churches and things like that. But then we stripped out those 2 back rows and then welded in bunks. But it was just one big flat bed. So the bottom was just the bottom of the van floor. And then we would put a thin mattress, paper thin mattress, and 2 people would sleep down there. And then 2 people would sleep on top of you on another paper thin mattress. And it was always kind of nerve-wracking, you know, if there was like the heavier people up top and the thinner people down low, and you're just sitting there waiting to get crushed to death by your own bed.
No, I'm glad I missed that shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I'd have been packing a tent, sleeping outside the van.
well, we would tour through the winter though, so you'd be doing that in weather like this. Like right now, it's how cold do you think it is right now?
20.
Yeah, I mean, we were out there in 20 and below that. We were in the East Coast at one point in a straight up snow blizzard that we got a little bit off the road, ended up on a back road. And because of that, we lost reception. So we didn't know how to get out. We were completely lost. And we had the van with a trailer. So it's hard to move up and down these roads. Hard to turn around anywhere. We were in the woods at a certain point. This was in like, I want to say Massachusetts. And Zach didn't, he's, you know, our guitarist Zach, he's very, you know, very like,
Cautious?
I was going to say steadfast, like very set in his ways. So he is a great driver, don't get me wrong. He was an Uber driver for a long time. But when he got lost, he didn't really want to admit it. He didn't really want to turn around. So by the time I woke up in the back, I felt like the bumping and rattling of like, oh, we're not on a freeway anymore. And I woke up and we were just carving our way up what seemed to be like a mountainside of just snow and ice. And then we started to jackknife towards like this cliff edge. Or this like ravine drop, I should say. Not a cliff edge, but a ravine drop.
Yeah.
And then we ended up having to just like stop the car completely, just kind of like jackknife like a semi-trailer would in the snow. And then just start walking in both ways, just looking for the nearest house and waving a white flag so they don't shoot us, you know what I mean? Like trying to find, the fire department had to show up and shut down this backcountry road for us to escape.
My gosh.
Yeah. Wow.
That's horrible.
Wow.
Yeah, you and Ferris are lucky that you don't have to do that stuff, but I do think that it's nice having younger guys in the band now because us older guys get to like dump on them a bunch. Like we're just like
you don't wanna
tired.
Say
so
that
we're
out
like,
loud, Tony.
Well, I don't care, you know. We're just tired, so we're like, you guys do it. We're like, Ferris, do you know anything about grants? He's like, no. We're like, well, you try to figure that out, man. I'm gonna go over here.
That's cool.
I'm very tired. My knees hurt.
That's so cool. That's so cool that you can actually say that.
No, to be honest, we all put in an equal effort too. You know, everybody's got their little side gig.
I'm sure that you do.
Lynn's the treasurer. Zach's like a killer social media guy out of the blue.
Yeah.
Nice.
He just started.
I think he
blowing
was
that out of the water.
waiting on the invitation to start doing it like full time.
Yeah.
Because he was pretty excited.
He's been posting all types of videos. Our social media has never been more engaging since Zach took over the helm of it.
Nice.
I don't know
He
why.
spends like 30, 40 minutes of practice just taking videos and pictures.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He still shows up to play, but
yeah.
I'm happy that he's doing it.
Yeah, I couldn't. I'm horrible
you know,
with the camera, dude.
Aside from the organic growth of your following, you only have social media to get the word out, right?
It kind of sucks that nowadays it's like half your job. Like what he's saying, there's a substantial part of practice and rehearsal that goes towards it.
There's a lot.
You got to do it though nowadays. I mean, the record industry as a whole is dead if not dying. You know, it's like paper print. You know what I mean? It's on its way out if it's not already gone. So you got to adapt and move on. And now adapting means figuring out the newest app. And I was putting off learning the TikTok because of that. I probably shouldn't call it the TikTok. It's just TikTok.
It is the TikTok.
It's the TikTok.
Tony.
It's the TikTok app. And I've been putting it off, and I've been seeing people in real time garner statewide, regional, national attention, worldwide attention to the point where they're making literal money off of this. And I'm like, God damn, that's insane. Or you're just foraging on High Street for fucking campus mushrooms, and you're famous for it now, and you're making making money off these mushrooms. It's incredible. And I was this close to like, all right, just pull that trigger, Tony. Just do some TikTok, get the band on there, figure it out. And then now I'm starting to think about it. It turns out they're getting rid of it. It's like a security threat to the point to where they're shutting it down, I think, in January, actually, I believe. There's going to be no more TikTok, yeah.
I mean, that was the case last year, too.
Well, the case, I believe, a few years ago was that they were trying to get the owners of it to sell to a American-owned company because of the national threat or whatever risk. And then, whatever company owns, I think it's a Chinese company, I'm not positive, they were just like, no, we're not going to sell it. So they're like, all right, we're pulling you off of all the U.S. servers or whatever it may be, and it's just going to be not a thing here.
I don't know shit about it. I stay off social media and politics. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, I'm
just here. I'm just here for the music.
But you know what?
Bro.
That speaks to America in my mind, man. Like, liberty. You're living your life the way you choose at any given moment, and you're not sucked in or influenced by any external factor.
I feel like too many people are these days, and they're like basically told how to be.
Well, because they're kind of married to their information source.
It's insane,
and it's polarized.
It's insane.
It is.
Heavily
I'm kind of in your
the
camp,
influencer.
Dennis. Personally, I really am, because I can relate to everything you just said.
Especially because you got to do it too, like with the podcast, like it's something where you got. Like, I got to get out there and hit the shares and.
Yeah, Switzerland, and if there's any, it's a matter of liberty, and being your own boss of your destiny, And Abraham Lincoln said, in my favorite quote, the best way to predict the future is to create it.
That's a gangster saying.
It's Abraham Lincoln, man. But that's a wise remark, And,
is he your favorite?
That's
the 16th?
It's all about liberty, is my point, right? He's speaking to liberty, and the fact that you can, without external factors, create your destiny.
Yeah, manifest destiny.
Create your future, man.
So Lincoln did it.
You guys are young. And Zoo Trippin is happening.
Yeah.
How many shows are you going to do in 25, you think?
Well, see, that's a tricky question because we are at a point where we're coming back from that whole, like, people don't want to go to shows anymore because of the pandemic. And I do think that there has been a permanent and lasting change of attendance-wise, I should say, for all performance arts, sports, all that stuff. There's issues all the way from the bottom to Taylor Swift and the Super Bowl. But I think now we as a band are at a point to where we want to do it more for us. Like we've got something we've been saying ever since like the election times. We've been saying make Zoo Trippin fun again, and because it very much before you and Ferris were in the band, it was a hard like career goal of ours. Like we were like we have to do everything we can to blow up, to get famous, to become known by the entire world. It was world domination or nothing, and that's a great attitude. I think that's awesome, but it sucked the fun right out of it. Like it very much became a job, and you had to work harder on putting on a face for the shows that we were doing at the time than you would, if you were just treating it like a hobby almost. And I don't want to call it a hobby because we are like I want to say a career band. Like this is a job for sure, but now we're taking on the things that we want to do, like shows that we want to do. Like, for example, we had a mild debate between me and the rest of the band about taking on a show recently, which was that I forget who wanted to play.
I don't even remember. Honestly, I don't even remember the date at this point.
It was there's some show that's coming up at a local venue with with a couple of novice acts, and they were like, "Hey, you want to come do this thing?" Which normally means, we'll try to get a bigger band to bring some draw, to bring some, I guess, experience to the show. If you're not novice, that's what we used to do back in the day all the time. Try to get a bigger band because you want to play chess against a better opponent, you know, and to kind of learn the game. And me, I guess, being old or whatever it was, you know, I'm just sitting here thinking, like, I don't think I want to take this gig because of the money involved, where it was like, oh, you know, it's kind of beneath our standards money-wise.
Money, dude, as shitty as it sounds, man, like, the money has got to be a good portion of it. Like, it has to, everybody's time is worth something. If you're, of course, putting time into something and receiving nothing out of it, there's just no point for you to be there. To be like, and that's the way I see it. You know?
True, but then like you were also one of the people who was like, let's play this show even if there's not a lot of dough.
Yeah, I was just more on the thing of I'm open, you know, I'm open that day. Who cares?
Down to clown, right?
Yeah,
and
whatever.
I do think that we should value our time. I'm kind of caught in the middle of it, like between valuing our time and then trying to make it fun for us as well. So it's like we should be taking shows that we want to do just for fun. But we should be also, like you said, be getting something out of it.
This is all my bands are side jobs to me, and I treat them as such. That's why
they should be side jobs.
They are. Yeah. That's why I'm
otherwise we'd be
on
doing
time,
open mics and stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Seriously, you got to treat it as a job, and you want to get paid like you do at a job. You know.
God, I feel bad saying this stuff.
Do you know what I mean? Everybody should. Like, honestly, that's where the change is going to start. If everybody starts putting a value on their time,
right?
You know, it became a lost art. Like, people used to go out in the 80s and make $400 for a night, you know, and it's still the same in 2024.
Except that $400 ain't the same. That's inflation has changed that.
We are still getting paid the same as these motherfuckers were back in the
music
70s
industry
and 80s.
definitely a different deal. But Zoo Trippin is a happening musical event.
It's definitely an ordeal. It's a whole show.
The energy is hot. The music is hot, and you, sir, are an awesome frontman.
Thank you.
Best, definitely one of the best.
That's very nice of you to say, especially because the last time you saw us, it was like a weird time. And I was like, I don't know how good of a job I did on that one, dude.
You did, and you were in a personal situation that was pretty off the hook.
It was very crazy, yeah. That whole thing was nuts.
I don't know if you're comfortable talking about any of that. We don't need to get in.
I mean, that's totally fine. I'm an open book type of guy.
No, we don't need to. We don't. But I think that added to some of the headspace.
Yeah.
And
I'm just glad that it worked out, though.
And
like the show,
you were a professional that night because you killed. I have video of you in that show.
Nice.
And you're exuding art.
Thank God, because I've seen other people do. It's
very emotional.
Like what time, you know, the Warren Flints with Kenny and those guys, Jacob and them. So I remember we were either playing a show with them or I was watching a show with them. I don't remember, but I was with them backstage at a show, and old boy got the news about his grandma dying or some family member died, and he was just like, well, that sucks. Hung up the phone, and then the person popped through the back door, was like, hey, it's time for you guys to go on. And then they went on and just did a great job. And I was like, man, you know, that's how you got to do it. That's that show must go on type of mentality, you know.
Right. Music is the medicine too, man. I mean,
it is. Yeah.
Like, that'll make you forget everything and just put you in a whole different space. It's amazing. Love that moment when everybody in the band gets transported. You know, when we're all just jamming, having a good time. You just go to that different space. It's fun. It's a really good time.
I know that it's medicine, and the fact that I get like irritable or like I just generally easily upset when I haven't played a show in a while.
Very much so.
Are you like that?
Yes. Yeah. These last couple of weeks have been pretty shitty.
Yeah, man, because we haven't been playing.
Yeah. Tomorrow I got a gig over there at India Oak. I'm super excited, man. It's going to be a good time.
You ever been down there to India Oak?
Dude, I used to play India Oak like every month. Every other
month. Dude.
Their staff is so awesome over there.
It's a well-run...
very much so. It's a very homey place, man. You go in there, it just feels good to be there.
That's
So
what I
who
think
are
about
you-
the Make It Fun again. Like you were talking about playing there because you like the staff, and I'm like,
Very
that's
much so.
making it fun.
And everybody that comes out there, you could tell they just give a shit. You know, they give a shit about who's up there playing. You know, it's all eyes the whole night.
They're engaged.
It's such a good time, man.
It is, and that's why we played there because for the same reason because the environment becomes a scene,
Very much so, man.
and everyone's
Like-
just grooving to the music.
That
having a
little
good
tiny
time.
space they have out in the front of the stage there, dude. They make that out to a
That's their
dance
dance
floor.
floor,
Dude, they turn it out. It's so
Cut a
funny.
rug.
It's so funny, man.
Oh yeah, it is fun. It's fun. It's
It
a
really
great
is. And
great
it's
place
so
to play.
small. It's like no bigger than your freaking front room and everything in there. But it's just the best time.
Yep. And, you know, in a similar fashion, but maybe even more nostalgic, is El Dorado's on
Oh, yeah.
on
you know
Morrison
about that.
High, right?
Love El Dorado. Old Matt over there, the sound guy. He is
Matt
a
Jones.
beast. He is a beast, man.
Matt Jones. Yeah, he's awesome.
He gets some big ass sound out of that little place.
Oh,
man.
but yeah.
And he don't
Now-
give a damn, dude. He turns it all the way up. He
He's
just
like, we're going to
doesn't
shatter
care.
some windows today.
I will share something that I learned, and you can talk to Matt about it, because I don't know that he would confirm it, but the urban legend is that he spent a weekend with David Byrne of
Talking Heads.
Talking Heads
Oh, really?
in Cleveland. It had something to do with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There was an event, and he ended up staying in a hotel and hanging out with David Byrne. And out of that came this song called Mr. Jones. Not to be confused with the Counting Crows
Yeah.
Mr.
Right,
Jones,
right.
but Talking Heads has a song called Mr. Jones. And if you look at my personal Instagram chart and you'll look at his episode picture, Mr. Jones is playing by Talking Heads for a reason.
That's
Right? That's dude, I like those little Easter eggs.
But that song is killer. And it's about Matt Jones.
That's fucking cool, man.
It's very cool.
Yeah, dude,
Urban
I'm-
legend. You have to talk to Matt Jones about that one.
Right?
He's so.
He just showed up and wore an oversized suit, and he was like, "Oh, we're gonna be friends."
The lyrics,
those-
the lyrics are very Talking Heads. It's good stuff.
I played like 3 or 4 times there, and then I talked to Matt here and there, and then the last few times, like I started like really trying to talk to him and everything, and found out he was a drummer, and I was like, man, I had no damn clue, you know, at all. And he's like, oh yeah, he's like, let me show you some of my kits and stuff. And this guy's got some of the meanest kits, like Ludwig from the 60s and 70s, a lot of 30s and 40s stuff. Like,
Really?
it's nuts. His collection
Serious
is
collection.
crazy. It is crazy.
I'm surprised you didn't assume that he was a drummer. I feel like most good engineers are drummers.
Oh, my
He's an
goodness.
awesome drummer.
Yes.
Jake Mooney, who makes our stuff, drummer. Joey Gerwin, who made our first record, drummer. You know,
Drummers are the best sound engineers. I love
Harold
working
Towns,
Drummers
he's got a new
on-
studio, drummer.
Drummers completely understand frequency,
and where everything needs to be in
balance.
the mix for sure. Yeah,
and that's what makes a good sound mix.
very much.
Separation and frequency
Okay.
distinction, and boom, you can hear everything, and it's beautiful. No mud. You know, you guys were mixed that way that night of Fenders when the last time I saw you guys.
You said without mud or
Without mud.
heavy mud?
No.
No, dude,
No.
Fenders usually has like they usually
was good
pay
sound.
well for a sound guy. So the sound guy
So they
is
get
usually-
somebody good in there.
always. I think I've had like one iffy experience, and it was something so stupid. He just literally had to press a button and everything came alive.
It was perfect.
good deal.
Can I ask you what is your worst sound engineer experience?
But don't name names.
Yeah. Let's not like we're not dogging people right now.
No.
But I just want to hear the story.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, I have 1,000 of those.
Yeah, I mean, you play in enough fucking emo punk bands, you know, in high school, you got your fair share of shit ass sound, man.
I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It was my first like larger stage gig as a
Okay.
guitar player, and I stepped up, and it was the first song, and it might have been the sound check, and then we rolled right into the first song, and then through the whole show, and there was this monitor in front of me. It's the first time I ever utilized a monitor, and so we start. And the only thing I hear coming out of this monitor is,
Oh, jeez.
So, I mean, long story short, I had that the whole night.
Oh,
It was just a bad piece of equipment.
And you just had to just try
I just had to deal with it.
I'd be like, dude, come up here and unplug this motherfucker, dude. I don't know.
Well, I eventually had it shut off, and I moved over a little bit. We bunched up a little bit so I could maybe pick up on something else. But you know, gear maintenance is expensive, and you know, venue quality and show quality. I mean, things come into play. You got to put everything in perspective. But
Right.
I mean, you always have fun at a gig.
Oh, yeah.
Music's always, you know, personal, good time, sharing.
I think the horror stories are a good time, to be honest. Like, I think because we've had plenty of horror stories, and then every time that we like fondly recall stuff, like we love bringing up the horror stories because it's just very funny to us.
Lay some down, will you?
Well, like with like audio. Let me think of one in specific, because again, yeah, there's so many that just flood into mind. One time we were playing a place in Pennsylvania one time with our buddy Brian Early, and he's a rapper from here in Columbus, goes by African, and he's fucking hilarious. Oh my god, the guy's so funny. But him and his manager at the time, this fellow named Grant Gatsby from Everybody Else's Entertainment. He's done a number of things with CD 1025 and a couple local venues and stuff like that. He's a good guy. He was dating my ex-girlfriend at the time and says, hey, listen, I know we were just hanging out, both of us with my ex. That's how we do back in the day. We used to all just kind of hang out. It was like the 60s.
That's good.
But so we're hanging out at one of her functions, and he goes, I got this guy Half. You got to take him on tour. He's blowing up. He's awesome. So that was our goal, was to really showcase African. You know, obviously, we're there for the ride. We love the idea of playing the show in places that aren't the hometown, you know, diversify, branch out. And when we get there, we're like, all right, we haven't been here before, but hopefully it's a good thing. We'll open up, and then you get up there and do your thing. And when we went to play, we realized that, like, they had no DI boxes at all. Ooh. And that's what he needed for his ad, because it was like a hip-hop thing with like I think it was a laptop or something that he plugged into the DI box. So he couldn't do his show at all. Like, he couldn't perform whatsoever. And like, our sound obviously was trash too, and the whole thing was terrible. I felt so bad for African that like we used the band's merch money from sales to buy his merch and give it out to the audience. Like, we sold some of our stuff, used the money to buy some of his stuff, and then gave his shit out to the audience to try to make up for it. But it was also just bad show, period, because it was, you know, really, really awful bar in this awful part of town. And the worst part is right below us, like, we were on the hilltop essentially of this part of Pennsylvania in this town, and we were playing like these trashy punk kind of like Bernie's style bars. And then if you just went down the hill a little bit, I'm talking like 100 yards tops. Awesome venues, crowded streets, God. Everybody's flooded out, having a great time. Rock and roll is very much alive. And we're in this horrible place with a handful of people. And I remember there's one guy in the front row, a big like biker guy with like dreadlocks and a bunch of tattoos. And he was flipping us off the whole show. So he just like, he's got his middle. So he just stood stoically in the front row. And I say row as in like there's a row of people. No, it was just him
amongst the 7 others.
Yeah, you know, he was like the only one in front of the stage, and he's just fist up with his middle finger right in my face. And I'm trying to like make jokes about it, like, oh yeah, I'm number 1. Is that what that means? And he's just like, here comes number 2. Now he's got 2 fists in my face, just flicking me off both hands. And then anytime like somebody would solo, like if the guitar would start soloing, he'd fire off in their direction, pointing both middle fingers up. Not singing, not dancing, just standing very still, dead eyes staring in your soul, fingers up. And then at one point, we kind of won him over. Like, we were ripping into a song pretty hard, and he starts kind of bopping his head and tapping his toe. And I'm like, there you go, man. That's what I'm talking about. And I shouldn't have said anything to him. I should have just...
Because he gave you the finger.
Yeah, he went right back. He looked at me like he got caught, and he's like, you know, he's right back to putting the finger up. And after the show, I remember everybody felt very weird about the whole thing because... You know, African didn't get to play at all. That guy was flipping us off. And he comes up and he's like, hey, man, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry for flipping all you guys off. I've just, you know, I had my own day and it just transferred into this. And it was like very, I want to say oddly articulate for how he looked. And he's just like, I shouldn't have projected on you guys and blah, blah, blah.
He's been in therapy.
I guess, and
he's trying to better himself.
That's cool.
I was like, all right, man, that's cool, man. No worries. You're fine. He's like, I want to apologize. I want to make it up to you. And he stuck his hand out, and I shook his hand, and he goes, to make it up for you, if it's okay, I'd like to just give you a kiss. And I was like, oh.
What?
It was like that scene in Fear and Loathing with Dennis Leary, where he's like, I just want to give you a little kiss. And this dude, he's a big burly biker guy, dreaded up tattoos and shit. And he just smells like he came out of a keg. And I'm like, oh, no, thank you.
Right.
And he's just like, just a little one. It doesn't have to be on the lips. If you want it on the lips, we can do that. And I'm like, no, I don't want it at all.
How about no?
How about no? And he's like, no, I just want on the cheek. And I said, I'll give you a hug. How about a hug? I'm a hug. I'll give a guy a hug.
Yeah, good for you, man.
I'll give a guy a hug.
We hugged when you came.
Yeah, absolutely. Len went in for a high five and a handshake. I fully, here we go. And now he's tiny, so I don't know what to do. But the guy, I went in for the hug, and he took the opportunity to just...
He snuck it on you.
Dude, he licked me from my clavicle, from my collarbone to my eyebrow, licked me. And then before anybody could do anything, the bassist girlfriend, who happened to be there at the time, I forget what her name is, but our old bassist, Austin, was dating this lady at the time. And she was a very tall, tatted up lady, and she just fucking yoked that guy up like a bouncer, dude. And bounced his ass. She's like, you can't be licking motherfuckers. And just grabbed him by his scruff and threw him out the door.
Damn.
I guess he was a regular. Nobody knew who we were at all. So the whole bar turns and looks at us. I'm like, oh no, they're going to come down on us. We're about to be fighting our way out.
Wow.
And everybody was just like, move along. We didn't get paid any money. The promoter left with all the door sale shit.
Damn.
And then we all climbed into John Claude Band van and start driving into the crowded area at the bottom of the hill where all the people are just having a great time at their shows. I'm like, just kind of, man, we should have played here. And the funniest part about the whole story is as we're sitting in traffic, Steve Hatmaker, our old drummer, he's at the driver's, he's at the wheel. And we're at a red light, stuck in this huge crowd of people because people are flooding out of these nightclubs and these venues into the streets, like a sporting event let out or something. So they're walking in front of our car, around the car, everywhere. And African says something about like, man, this is a little rowdy out here, man. Wait for some shit to pop off or something like that. I forget what he said, but it was something about the environment and how it's about to get a little heated. And then out of nowhere, someone pulls out a gun and starts firing off rounds. Damn. And my immediate instinct was to like, oh, you gotta go get that guy. So like I threw the door open to the van and started running towards the shooter, and like Lynn and everybody is like running out and grabbing me, pulling me back in the van. The cars are mounting the curb, fucking driving through the crowd, trying to escape.
Are you kidding me?
This is very real. You can ask the guys in the van. This is all I'm not making any of this up. And I remember Steve sat there, he just sat there. He's like, I'm gonna wait for the light to turn green. I'm like,
he's like, I'm gonna abide by this law here.
Right, and then we got sandwiches.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And then we got sandwiches.
They were great. So to answer your question, terrible sound, terrible show. Sandwiches, fantastic. Pennsylvania's got them Sammies.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, it's good.
Got them shooters
Good
too,
stuff.
apparently. God damn.
They got them shooters and Sammies, dude.
What a combo.
That's a good combo.
It's interesting.
I'm in a different age bracket, but I would still do that.
Shooters
good
and
stuff.
Sammies.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I like shooting guns myself. Actually, I don't like. I don't know a lot about it. I don't go like hunting or whatever, but I like putting up a piece of paper on a tree stump and having at it. You know.
with what?
Oh, I got a couple of pistols and a couple shotguns. I got myself a couple of ARs and an AK and a SCAR. I got the AK because I know so little about guns that during the pandemic I was like, oh man, the zombies are going to come and all that type of shit. I figure world's ending, so I'm going to get some ammo.
Right.
And I went to the gun show and I didn't know anything about guns to such a degree that I got nervous. So then when I was buying ammo off this guy, he was just like, what do you want? And I was like, oh, shit, I'll take this. And he's like, how much? I was like, I got like $1,000. He's like, give me that. That's cash. Here you go. And I hands me this big-ass box. I had to, like, come back several times and carry the shit in and out. I realized I bought the wrong ammo for my ARs and stuff. It was like, instead of like 5.56, it was 7.62. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with all this ammo now? And they're like, oh, a buddy of mine, gun
Buy it?
He's like, just buy an AK. That's perfect for an AK. So I got an AK.
Ooh. Oh, so you bought that weapon to
for the ammo,
relieve your ammo supply.
Right? Yeah.
That's a good purchase, man. That is
I love that.
You sound like you're from Courthouse, man. Like, for real.
He's from Courthouse. He drives from Courthouse to rehearsal.
Yeah. I mean,
that's cool.
There ain't fuck all going on in Courthouse. So, I mean, I gotta drive an hour. You know.
It's true. What'd you get for dinner last night? I know you said you were trying to find something other than pizza in Courthouse.
But we get the Mexican restaurant there in Courthouse.
Slamming.
Dude, it's the best shit in the world. I eat there like 3 nights a week. It's fucking pathetic.
You should get them a Christmas gift at that point.
No, they should get me a Christmas gift.
You know what?
I keep the lights on at that bitch. I swear to God, I do. Like, can you imagine like $100 a week at the Mexican restaurant? Like, that's insane.
Wow.
Like, when I sit here and think about it, like, that's kind of crazy. But
yeah, man, I don't want to do that math. I don't want to do the math of his driving time, to be honest. He says he's very cool with it. He's just used to drive it, but I always felt bad about like.
I have to, man. Like, there's one project I'm a part of it's still not even in Courthouse. But it's in that neck of the woods. It's in Leesburg. Okay. It's about 25 minutes away. But
what's the band called?
They're called the Smoke and Mirrors. It's a bunch of all the members are in their like 50s, and they're some of the baddest musicians I have ever heard, seen anywhere. Like the one guy on guitar, Brett, he is a beast, man, and he's showing me a lot of really cool shit. It's really cool.
Awesome. Wait till he starts to show you some cool shit. You can get Lana out there thrown down.
I'm telling you, man.
That'd be fun.
I've never seen anybody play like Brett. Like, if you set him down with like any guitarist of your choosing, like he'd probably blow him out the water. It's maddening.
Really?
He is so good.
That's good. What's his name?
Brett Snively.
And where could we see him perform?
Let's see. We actually got a show. So they play a lot of like Elks Lodges and Moose Lodge, like American Legions and stuff like that.
We used to do that too.
Really?
Yeah. They were actually some of the most fun gigs that we had.
Yep.
They are not so much fun around Courthouse. They're okay. You know, they're just a lot of, I turn that down and be too loud. You know, type of shit. And it's fucking annoying. It's like, don't book us. You know?
Yeah, why did you book this?
But no, we played the Middletown Eagles a couple weekends ago after that Ohio State show we played. And that place was absolutely a hell of a time, man.
Just jumping.
Dude, those people were so much fun.
Anytime I've gone to like a club like that, it's been off the hook.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
Yeah. A lot of times it's the only thing going on like in the whole area. And so like, it's like the whole town gets together. And they appreciate it.
Well, I think the issue with the Courthouse ones is like we've got an Elks Lodge, we've got a Moose Lodge, and then we got an American Legion, and we got an AMVETS. We got like 5 or 6 different fucking.
There's not a lot of people up there, period.
No, and I know, and everybody just kind of bands together in their own one, and they're up in arms and snooty as shit about which one they go to and everything. It's just goofy.
Some people are kind of snooty about that. Like I remember. We played a gig in Salem one time, and there was a local witch who walked around the neighborhood, and we got to meet her, and she was like, I want to give you a tour of the neighborhood, and she took us to one of those American Legions, and she was like, come on in here, we're going to grab a drink, and I was like, oh, you know, we haven't served or anything like that, and we're not from here, and I don't know if that's going to be okay. She's like, they don't give a fuck, and I remember thinking like, oh, that's kind of refreshing. It's like a clubhouse that, you know, that you need to, you know, specific credentials to kind of get in. Yeah, and they were like, come on in.
Yeah.
Very welcome.
That's the issue with the Courthouse Elks Lodges and everything is like they don't open them to the public for the shows. So it's like strictly for the people that have a membership there or whatever. So
is that what keeps it afloat, dude? It's just the memberships?
Membership fees and stuff like that. And they hold like auctions, like stuff like that, you know, like 50-50 raffles and shit like that, you know. So, I mean, you know.
Staying afloat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, though, that Middletown Eagles one was fucking fun, dude. Because everybody was so excited for us to be there. And I was like, why? I was like, dude, don't make no mistake. This band is fucking good. They're so good. But, like, what? You guys are like excited? They're like, yeah, dude, we've been waiting for months.
Oh,
the guy's
wow.
wearing a Vic Firth shirt, you know, he's a drummer, and he's like so excited.
Or are you playing drums or guitar in this band?
I play guitar in that band.
Guitar, okay. So that's why you're really heavily commenting on the guy, because it's like, you got to keep up with this dude.
It's tough. It is insanely tough, but he's really shown me a lot, man, and like the information and knowledge is just like, I mean, you can't put a price on it, you know, like legitimately.
No.
And that's where I'm fortunate is he doesn't put a price on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because he could.
He's just like, here, let me show you something real quick, you know? I don't know. I was like really weary to join in with him and start doing stuff with him because, like I said, dude, Brett is just like, like you got great guitar players and then you got fucking Brett. He's way up here.
That's cool.
It's so mind-boggling to watch him play. It's seriously.
Columbus area has a wealth of great guitar players.
I'm trying to push them up to this area.
Also, just some amazing drummers too, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There are.
Yeah, there's some pretty good drummers.
And there's
there.
some great frontmen and women.
Mm-hmm.
I steal a lot of Amber Nicole's stuff. A lot of her moves, I was stealing them. I'm like, I can do that. And she's wearing high heels. So it's easier for me.
Yeah, dude, I tried to do a little stint in Nashville a few years back. And
Really?
It was just one of those things I kind of felt like I was looking at it, oh, grass is going to be greener. You know what I mean? I didn't fucking think to look at the grass right here. You know what I mean? Right outside the back door. Like, there's a hell of a scene. And I'm just now, like, figuring out about it. I just started stepping into it, like, February, you know?
Really? Dude. See, I'm learning Dennis right now, live and in person. Like,
really, man. I told you.
He was, you know, he's Ferris's friend for how long? You known Ferris?
I've known Ferris for
so
many fucking years, like 8 years.
Let's get into the connection, how you guys, how you joined Zoo Trippin. You know,
so I was playing. I had joined with this one band. I'm still with Bone, and fucking awesome blues band. I fucking love playing with those dudes.
Was that who you're playing with on New Year's Eve or?
No, that's with the Smoke and Mirrors at the Elks Lodge.
Okay.
But we're playing with them tomorrow at India Oak.
There you go.
Is that tomorrow night?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What's the name of the band?
Bone.
Bone's playing India Oak.
Yep.
On December the 6th.
It would be
8:30, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, 8 to 12,
Showtime.
8 to
Dude,
midnight.
you're going to be on drums or guitar?
Drums.
All right.
You're on my
I'm
list.
telling you,
I'm
fucking
coming out. You gonna be there, Tony?
You should, dude. I'm
I'll try to
telling
make it
you,
out.
Nate
Shit.
is
Wait,
a
it's
fucking
tomorrow's,
beast.
Oh wait, tomorrow's Friday. Maybe. Is it all ages? Can I bring the kid?
Yeah, dude, it's India
It's
Oak.
Indian Oak, right?
It's,
We can get
it's
a
a
booth.
restaurant.
We can get a booth. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you. But Nate,
and the best submarine sandwich.
For real.
Oh, yeah.
They're
For
so
real.
good. They're so good.
you really won't regret coming out, man. Like Nate is a
I love
motherfucker on
India Oak.
guitar, dude. He is so goddamn
Do
good.
they even like sell tickets, or they just open the door and say, "Here's rock
Open
and
the
roll"?
door, hand us money.
Let's
it's
get
beautiful.
Nate, let's get Nate to do a podcast episode. It'd be good for him.
We should.
I'm sure he's got.
It's funny to watch because
things
he's
to
like
share.
he gets on stage and he's just like fucking rocking the shit out of a guitar and like singing his ass off, and he's so good, so confident in what he's doing.
Is he a rock star?
But then he gets off stage and then he's just like, hello, you know, hi. You know, oh yeah.
Okay.
It's so
Wow.
funny, man.
The dichotomy of his
It's
existence.
so funny, dude. It's the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. I'm like, how are you these two people? I don't get it. But yeah, dude, Nate's a beast, man. And same with Kyle on bass, man. I love jamming with Kyle. He's a fucking badass, dude.
So you got Bone, Smoke and Mirrors,
Zoo Trippin, and Tore Down, but they don't do much, honestly.
Tore Down. Is that a blues band?
Yes, sir. Another blues band. I'm fucking heavy into blues. I love the blues.
I mean, that's my roots. I
that's our roots.
I mean, guitar. I mean, I would, you know, I fall hard into that type of
Same, man.
because it's very emotional music.
Oh, so yeah, that's the whole reason I delve into it. It was just like,
love it.
It was like finally some way of expression. You know what I mean?
Good for you.
That's not crying about it. You know what I mean?
Well, you can make a guitar cry, and you
Oh,
can
for
bang
sure.
a drum into battle. That's for
For
damn
sure.
sure.
But yeah, man, it's definitely a good time up here in Columbus. I never thought that. And like I said, it's only been since February. I found a post.
Dabbling.
Well, I found a post on Facebook in one of the musician groups, and Ty, the guitarist in Tore Down, he was looking for a drummer, and I was like, I was just coming out of this whole fucking bullshit mental state, you know, for the last like 4 years. So I was like, let's finally try to get something doing, So I went up there and jammed with them. They fucking had a great time. I had a great time. So I started jamming with them. Then I joined up with Bone a couple months later, and
nice.
That was instant chemistry. That was like chemistry I haven't felt in so fucking long, dude. Oh, and that's how it felt.
Unspoken language, man. I love that.
Same way with Lynn too. Oh my God, I love jamming with Lynn. Mm-hmm. He is like one of my favorites to jam with.
God, I love Lynn just period as a human.
But on a bass though, God, I love him.
and you're getting Lynn as a bassist. And nobody else had that. We always had Lynn as a guitarist, but we had those problematic bassists that we had to get rid of.
Yeah, no, I know.
Dude, Lynn is a fucking beast, and he knows how to lock in, and we're like always on the same page. It makes for such a good, direction of everything.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's good stuff.
And then of course with Ferris, I've got chemistry with Ferris. I've known him for so long.
Did you meet at school or something? Or?
So no, back to the original topic of how.
Yeah.
So Ferris Clark is your most recent add-on prior to Dennis joining as drummer. You knew Ferris how then?
Yeah. So him and I had a mutual friend, and they were roommates in college. And I went down to hang out with my buddy, and he was like, yeah, my roommate plays guitar too. He fucking loves all the same stuff we do. And I was like, hell yeah, it's going to be a good time. We could probably make something happen. Went down there, and within like seconds of meeting Ferris, I was like, oh, dude, you're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I felt so bad. I spent the whole weekend hanging out with Ferris and not my buddy. And
oh, dude, Ferris is awesome, though.
We just went bar hopping and fucking smoking weed all weekend. It was a great time, because that was like the first question. He was like, you smoke weed? And I was like, fuck yeah, I smoke weed. Like, let's go on a walk. Like, what are we doing?
Let's go on a walk.
Let's get to know each other for real.
It's funny too, because Ferris is one of those guys. When he smokes weed, he gets like nervous. It's funny that he's like, let's do this and then meet each other.
And then he bums out.
He did used to be that way, man. He was a little social butterfly about it.
So did he mention to you that Zoo Trippin was looking this year for
So what had
drummer?
happened is I was playing a show at Eldorado's with Bone, and he just showed up out of the blue, and I hadn't seen this guy in like 2 years. And I was like, bro, what the fuck? Awesome, dude. That's so great to see you, and all this and that, and he kind of like dropped a little pepper of the conversation. He was like, yeah, we're kind of losing our drummer, blah, blah, blah.
So he wasn't pushy about it, is what you're saying?
No, he kind of dropped it in conversation like he does, kind of see how they react before he pushes.
Test the water?
Yeah, a little tippy toe in there. But he was like, yeah, we're losing our drummer, this, that, and the other. And then I was like, oh, damn, that fucking sucks. I'm going to go play this show,
See you, dude. Damn,
I'm out. I know. I kind of looked back and I was like, man, I didn't even offer nothing. Like, yeah, well, I could probably do nothing. I was just like, damn, that's horrible. What are you going to do?
That's actually very appropriate. That makes sense.
I was like, damn, that sucks. But yeah, then a couple months later, he hit me up and was like, yeah, would you like want to try out, come jam with us and all this and that. And I was
cool.
Like, fuck yeah, why not, dude? It's a
Zoo Trippin.
Yeah, it's a different crowd, different. It's kind of like I kind of played this type of genre when I was like way younger, like 6th, 7th grade, 8th grade, like that.
Little kid music.
Yeah, children shit.
We play adolescent crap.
You grow up and play the blues, boy.
Oh, dude, I'm right there with both you guys on that blues bit, man. I've always considered blues to be the most believable music next to like gospel.
Oh, dude,
like, I'm not even a big religious guy,
Me
but it's
neither.
like when they're singing to their God, it's like they're trying to really emote.
It's got to be black gospel though.
Oh, dude, black gospel's really the top shelf for sure, dude.
Yeah.
Like, we were actually talking about that the other day. Where I was like, I'm not a religious guy, but I would happily go to some of those services.
We need to, just to become better musicians. Like I told everybody in every group I'm in, I'm like, we need to find a good Sunday service to go to.
Check it out.
Just a black church. Like we need to be the only white people in there.
That's how you know you're doing it right.
Yes, and I was like, and we are going to learn so much, man. Just
the singer's got all that soul too.
It's just the structure of how they do everything and how they're building around what someone's talking about, and like, oh, dude, they incorporate the feeling of music into the feeling of religion, and it's just
it's uplifting,
so beautiful. Even as somebody who's
uplifting on high,
agnostic, or whatever, it's just like you can't help but appreciate that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
amazing work. Amazing
Absolutely.
work.
And then blues.
Tony, how did you? Well, go ahead.
I was going to say blues is that similar thing, though.
Very much so.
It's very much so.
All that black gospel is based out of blues. It's just double time blues. I was literally listening to that the other day, and I was like, man, we could pull some of this stuff off with bone and that shit, but like that type of structure and stuff,
right?
Like that shouting stuff, you know. Oh yeah,
yeah,
it'd be fun.
Call and answer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That goes on.
We do a lot of that too with the jam because we're like a psychedelic blues band. We do a lot of fucking strung out 12, 13, 14-minute jams. It's so much fun, man. It's so fun.
Cool.
That's a long time.
It is, but it is fun, and we put a lot of texture to it, so it builds and grows. It feels like it's not just the same fucking thing, you know.
Right, it's an experience. It's a roller coaster, if you will.
Oh, dude, so many. I wouldn't say so many, but you know, people come up to us and be like, "Man, that was just a whole experience. Like that was fucking crazy cool."
Is that what you did when you auditioned or you jammed with Zoo?
No, it was just
Trippin?
kind of like.
Remember what that? Did they give you some song? How that
so
go down?
Ferris just sent me like a few tunes that he thought that I would enjoy.
Like cover songs?
Yeah, no, like they're original tunes.
Oh, originals. Okay.
Yeah, it was like a lot of shit that Steve was just going mad on, and I'm just sitting here listening to it like. I'm like sitting here listening to it as a blues drummer, like, man, less is more, damn it. But I love it, man. I mean, like I said, I
Pop
used to
the 1 and 4, babe.
Yeah.
I used to play a lot of that when I was back in high school and middle school. So it's just like bringing out the old, you know. It's fun though.
So obviously how did you feel when he started playing with you guys at that, that meeting?
Spill the truth.
I
fucking hate it.
I feel like when you first showed up, I was like, was it you who said, "Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really practice the songs. I just kind of tapped them on my steering wheel on the way down." Was that you who said that?
No, I do that now.
That doesn't seem like Dennis.
No, we had a few different auditions. So I'm trying to remember because, like we said earlier, my memory is terrible.
I'm bad about that. I will just fucking listen to it a couple times, tap it on the steering wheel. Good to go.
Yeah, we did have some weird additions. We had some people that came in. They were like, "I didn't practice any of this at all." We were like,
Ferris told me that.
Start, dude. Like,
Ferris told me about that.
It just felt kind of rude. Yeah. Even if that's true, maybe don't like flaunt it. You know, like guess what? I'm going in cold because I don't give a shit about this. We're like, all right, well, nice to meet you.
No, like I said, I've always treated this shit as a job. So I fucking prepare. And I even called off that day.
Nice.
That I came and fucking jammed with you guys for the first time.
To keep it fully.
Literally called work and I was like, listen, I'm going to jam with a newer band. Kind of want to get in, so I'm not coming in to get pissed off. And they were like, oh, I get it. Cool. All right.
See, well, you work your ass off here. Go work your ass off there.
Yeah. I do like my job, man. Where I hate it, I love it at the same time. You know, people are good.
And I definitely, I got to see it more what he's really like, in the shows and stuff like that. And I love obviously his play and his his overall attitude. But I love how my favorite thing about you outside of your preparedness is just like he's not even thinking. It's like a level of confidence that he's like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. And he'll just say it like that. Like when I was saying things like, hey, can you learn 4 hours worth of music in this amount of time? That was one of the questions we would ask a lot of the drummers who were auditioning. We would say, like if you had to learn 4 hours worth of covers and 4 hours worth of originals, how long would that take you to learn? Because that's kind of like what our library is. It's about 4 hours and 4 hours.
Yeah.
So 8 all day. And it takes a good amount of time to learn that stuff and all the little intricacies.
A big body. Absolutely.
It's a substantial amount of work, and he would just, oh yeah, no, I got it. That's fine. Some of them other, I think what you told us was a fraction of what the other drummers told us. Like they would be like, months, and he would say weeks. So like, whoa,
8 hours of music. That's like a couple weeks.
Did you hear it in his voice right now? He's like, oh yeah.
I mean, you gotta think.
But I'm sure he backs it up.
He does. He delivers every time. So it's just like this confidence is so great.
But that's why you can say it.
Oh, dude, I love it. I love it.
I'm in like 4 different bands, and it's all of it's 4 hours of music, and none of it repeats. I think I got like 4 songs that are on the same set list. Like that's it. So it's like 4 hours for each band, and then 8 hours for us, and then. I don't know. It's not that bad.
You got a library in your head.
It's just music, man. It's just there anyways. So it's like,
That's the other thing, too. It's like the way he's explaining it now, you can kind of pick up on for our listeners at home, Dennis is just positive morale. And like when him and Ferris, when they're clicking together, two buddies just joking and clowning. Because we like to hire a lot based on personality. Like you could be the most skilled person ever.
Oh yeah.
And we'd be like, you know, you're not a good person. So
I've always told everybody that you could be the best fucking whatever you're playing. You could be the best at it. But if you're a dickhead, man.
Oh yeah, dude. Mark Glinka, Jim Bourne, dope bassist. Shittiest people I've ever met in my life.
Whoa, hang on now.
Dropping names, Bubby.
Hard drop.
Don't care. Fuck.
Oh my gosh, you guys are bad.
But like that's what I tell everybody.
That's the first time something slipped out like that ever.
I just, dude. Oh god.
I tell everybody that though. Like you could be subpar, man, but be a fucking great person. Have a good attitude.
And
like be
like
willing
pride.
to learn.
Yeah,
Yes, and
that's
be
a thing.
willing to learn and take in everything that you can.
Yeah.
Listen is the
Enjoy.
biggest thing.
Smile if
That's
you
something
can.
I'm still learning is the listening part.
Listen to the band. Listen to what everybody's doing and contributing, and then build what you know off of that. Because it's so much easier when you're trying to build a song rather than keep up or outplay or whatever your fucking ego is
outplay
making you're
sucks.
trying to
Right.
do.
Strip the ego out of it.
Strip the ego out of it, man. It makes for such a better fucking environment for everybody. It's
That's good
like
insight.
with
Yeah.
That's good insight.
Eat a fistful of ayahuasca and strip the ego from the bottom. That's
I mean,
what
a few
Kendrick
tabs-
Lamar said.
A few tabs of acid will do that. You got ayahuasca in the woods and shit. Puke
That's
your guts out.
literally a Kendrick Lamar line.
That's funny.
You guys are wild.
We had some auditions when we were doing the drums that we were like, man, these guys are phenomenal players, but I'm not going to say that we're bad people by any means, but they were just like, you could tell that they were kind of uninterested. And we want somebody who's like excited to be a part of this thing. And when we were doing that Buckeye thing with you, where we finally got the chance to play a proper, Buckeye home gang where there's a sea of people, it's exciting because it's all free, it's all ages, it's a good paycheck too. And I'm not going to
That
knock
was legit fucking surreal for me.
It was awesome
that whole day.
It's good
It was-
sound and everything else.
Yep.
They'll feed you, and it's just a
Dude,
good time.
the whole VIP tent was legitimately just. I couldn't even, and I got that. My mom was running the merch booth that day.
His mom sold the merch.
Yeah, dude, it was
That's
such
awesome.
a great experience to be able to have my mom. Like, I was like, check it out, we get to fucking eat for free. They had a full bar, like all free. I was
That's
like,
cool.
man.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like the gratefulness, the excitefulness. Like, cause like we're a lot of us too in the band. Like we came up very poor, so it's like whenever somebody's like, "Hey, you get free water," we're like, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah,
high fiving
fuck
each other.
yes.
Like we're so excited. But some people, they're just kind of going through the motions, and you can tell they're not very interested. So it's like, all right, man, we need to. Even though that you're a phenomenal player, we need to base some of the decision making off of your morale, things like that.
I don't know, man. Ever since the beginning of this year, I've just been like, time to light the fire into the ass. Time to fucking get serious.
Because
Like
you had a moment there a 4-year moment is what you were
a
saying.
ridiculously too long of a moment. It was more than a moment. But
Wow.
The way to bounce back, man. Have a 4-year moment and then get in 4 bands.
oh, dude,
one for every year.
and then just like work yourself to the brink of insanity.
Well, I don't know. That's a great idea.
No, it is. It's great.
No, it is. It's awesome.
I deserve it.
Jesus, please. Oh.
Now, there was a moment there a couple months ago, or about a month ago, or it was too much all at once, and I ended up having like a seizure and shit. And I was just like, all right, we got to take a little
Oh, wait,
step
yeah.
back.
You actually had a seizure.
It was horrible. I forgot music. Like I had a show the next day and stuff, and we showed up there and it was just stuff I know, and get to the part and miss it. Just biffed it completely. Kyle's looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I don't even know, man.
Seizure, dude.
It was tough. It was a rough one. I
Slow
really
down.
felt bad for Audrey, man, because she had to.
Oh, your old lady?
Yeah, she had to watch that. It was horrible.
Yeah, dude, that's a tough one. You can't
Ouch.
freak out your partner like that.
No, it was
you might
bad.
want to slow down a little bit.
Because me, I was like, don't you fucking dare call an ambulance. As I'm like
That's
dying.
just an expensive ride.
It really is, dude. Like, you could get me there quicker than they'd get here and then back. For sure.
The cool,
Save
the,
us
the
$200
cool
bucks.
thing about Zoo Trippin is the energy you guys generate. Just like hanging out together like this is fun. Yeah. Is fun, but you get the other guys of Zoo Trippin in the mix on stage, and that energy is multiplied by all those other guys. Yeah. It's just a great vibe. You guys are very fortunate.
It's a good chemistry, man. Like I said, I told you that when I showed up, man. I feel insanely fortunate to be able to play like with the bass players and the guitarists that I play with, like insanely fortunate. And then this fucking dude, it's like the best frontman in the city, probably Ohio by easily, you know. I tell everybody, I'm like, dude, nobody works a crowd like Tony works a crowd. Like nobody I've seen.
But we're all frontmen in this band. That's why what you're saying, like, amplify it by 5. That's because everybody's, you know, like we definitely are a team for sure, but everybody likes to kind of do their own little style with the show.
Oh, dude, Zach is so much fun. Zach is so much fun to watch. Oh, dude, I catch myself just watching Zach the whole time. It's so much fun.
Before Zach was in our band, he was in a band called Sassafras. I remember just watching him. I'm like, I cannot stop.
He's so funny, dude.
He's entertaining.
Talk about somebody who is like confident in their abilities. Like, if you could goof around and be as fucking dumb as Zach is on stage and still play the way he plays, it's like...
Or even just the photo shoots.
Yeah, dude,
like, stuff like this is actually, like, doing this podcast, even though you're the most approachable human being in the world and, like, you're just an awesome guy, this is still a little nerve-wracking for us. Like, it's still kind of... Zach wouldn't even think about it. You're
too much.
Yeah, dude. It takes... That's, I think, why it's great that he talks to us beforehand.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You know, I want people to feel comfortable.
Well, no, that's not.
I mean,
I was
Pepsi,
fine. I was
water.
fine out there. It's like once we get in here and getting in the business,
the headphones
it's like,
and the mics and all that kind of. But it delivers the quality that I'm comfortable putting out there in the way that it's out there. Yeah. And who knows where it's going to go? I don't know.
And it's Dennis's first time, so we're popping his cherry to
you guys are coming back. You're coming back. I know Tony's coming back.
Oh,
well, you guys
definitely coming back.
Yeah,
I want to do this until we turn to sand.
That's cool, but before we do, Tony, we're gonna continue our maybe it's newfound at this juncture with round 2 with you, but hit us with a road story or a story that's memorable that you would be comfortable, you know, sharing with the people.
Let me think.
That maybe you gotta. Did we bring up the tooth story theme?
The tooth story theme.
I don't think you had one.
What was the tooth story?
I don't think you had one. But I hate to screw your train of thought.
The tooth story. Now I'm thinking about it. My kid actually finally started.
I don't know that you had.
Well, let me think. Normally I like when people give me a premise because I got a story for everything, and I feel like I can definitely pull out a tooth story. No, I mean I've got a personal tooth story where I used to have people punch me in the face at house parties. Like, 'cause I was just dumb.
Dude.
And I was never a big guy, so I could never really deliver a good hit. But I could take a hit like the best of them.
So they just watch you
get
pummeled?
I mean, I started it, to be honest. I remember there was like one guy, we were at a house party, and this guy was like, "Oh, I can knock anybody here out," and he was just kind of, some drunk dude trying to be a tough guy, just bragging. And he's a big guy, and I was like, well, I'll take your challenge. He's like, you try and fight, and I was like, no, you can just have one clean shot, see if you knock me out. And he's like, all right, your funeral, clocks me, ate it. And then people are like, wow, that was something. And I was like, and to me at the time, I used to like to fight. I hate that stuff now. I'm as soft as baby shit nowadays. I don't like that stuff.
That's cool.
Well, you see, keep sitting here talking about taking a punch. It's like, I'm sitting here like, God damn, you're right. We need to box Tony.
Yeah, that's one of the first things I told Dennis. I was like, I feel like I'd like to fight Dennis. He'd put a licking on me too.
He pointed out my bruised knuckles and everything and shit. And he's like, you fight and stuff? I was like, no, I used to, box around and stuff. We used to be goofy,
Wow.
But I was like, we get drunk. We'll have a good time.
I think I said something like, oh, I kind of want to fight you now. And you're like, I'll fight you.
Yeah. I was like, I don't give a shit. There's no ego attached to it. We'll fight all day.
And you just fight? You fist fight?
We don't. Yeah, I mean, we haven't really done anything like that in a while. We've never done anything like that.
No, we just met, but it's
but that is actually something that, like, in our band, where if it was like, if somebody had some kind of feeling, this has never really happened, but it has always been like a rule of like, hey, we don't like hold things in and let them pump. We just like address the group. And if it came down to it, we used to joke about it. Like, if things get a little heated, we'll just pull the van over and you guys throw a little, throw a couple fists, and then we apologize and move on.
Because that's usually all it takes, you know?
That's what me and my friends used to do all the time when we were younger.
I remember people getting in fights at high school with dude, like, they're best friends
Oh,
afterwards.
yeah. Then we're just hanging out.
Dude, because that's all it took.
Yeah.
Was you just needed to get that out, and then it's all good.
Now we feel better.
Exactly.
I don't know if you can encourage that type of behavior anymore nowadays, though, actually. I don't know if that's a thing, but it's a thing from back then.
Biden's country.
Biden's country.
It's the joke of practice.
There's so many band practice jokes. There could be something that just goes completely awry.
All
We'll
kinds
throw it
of
on anybody.
comments.
Oh, man. We're not in the van. Sorry, Tony.
Can I tell here's a story that just popped in my mind just now, and I don't know if it's super. It's kind of like a band sexual story. Is that okay?
You can say whatever you want.
Oh, all right. So here one time
But don't hurt anyone.
Oh no!
Don't throw
Of
anybody on the
course.
bus.
Yeah, we're not gonna throw anybody a bus. Other than those two old basses, fuck those guys. We were playing a show one time in Dayton, Ohio. And it was that show that Dave Chappelle ended up coming down to.
Oh, really?
And I remember it because I'm moving right now. So I was going through some old stuff that I found. And I found an old picture from a disposable camera of Dave Chappelle at this show that we did. And it was a small venue, like 200-person cap thing. And we were playing with this rapper, Devin the Dude, who was on like Dr. Dre's The Chronic and stuff. We play with a lot of rappers. I don't know. I mean, we're not really like a rap group, but we like the energy. We like to diversify our crowds and stuff. So let's get after it, man. We'll play it, we'll play your dog's birthday party. We don't care. And we have. Dog's 11th birthday party.
It's a long time for a dog, okay?
Right, yeah.
He needs a band.
You deserve this, buddy.
He deserved it.
But Dave was out there at the show, and I don't know if that like gave us some extra clout or what it was. Because sometimes, you get some girls that are, after the shows and things, especially back then when we were younger. Now we're all shacked up. We all have our partners. We're all very, very loyal and everything like that too. But like, back in the day when it was the Wild Wild West or whatever, sometimes girls would come and accost you after these shows. But I think it was just because there were celebrities at this particular one. I don't know what it was, but everybody was
celebrities.
They were excited, because people were in the room. And after they had all left, it was just the band and the remaining people of the audience. And I went to go hang out in the van because I'm kind of nervous around people, contrary to popular belief. And I'm hanging out in the van, and our bassist at the time comes up, and he's like, listen, there's these girls inside that really want to, like, hook up with us. And I was like, it's all right, I'm good, you have fun. And he's like, all right, And he leaves, and he goes and tells them, yeah, he's good. And then they keep trying to send him out and be like, well, come see if he's interested now or whatever. And I'm like, no, really, I'm fine, And I was like, Austin, you can just you have them both, like if they're down with that, you have fun with them both. I'm cool. And then finally, he comes back a third time, and he goes, they said that they'll buy as many shots of Jameson as you'd like. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, well, hold on now. Go inside.
Start talking J-Mo. I'm there.
And I'm a Jameson guy, so I go in, and I was just thinking I'm just going to drink on their dime. And I did. We drank them under the table.
And you passed out and you left.
No. They were fine. We were trash. It was like I'm surprised they even were like, yeah, you guys, let's see if we can get this going, because these poor girls, they're talking to two very drunk dudes now, and they took us out to because we were like, we got to go to the next town. We gotta leave, and they're like, no, we can make this happen. We're like, we don't have money for a hotel or anything, They're like, well, you got that van in the parking lot, that piece of shit Chevy Astro.
Let's go get in this white looking van.
Yeah,
what the
so
hell?
creepy, dude. And I remember there was a bunch of people outside. There's a lot of cops,
and you can hear them.
Yeah, it's like we crawled in this van, and these girls they're trying to go at it, and we were just too drunk. And I remember the girls just like leaving because it wasn't going to work. If you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was not going to work.
It was late. It was late.
We were saying all the classic lines. This never happens, And they just they clowned us all the way out of there. They were like,
no way.
Zoo Trippin's got whiskey dick.
Oh, no.
To everybody that was outside the bar.
That sucks.
We were so sad.
That's so funny.
You know what really did it for me too? That was like, because I tried, but it's also like you're in Chevy Astro, and your bassist is with this other girl, And at one point, the proximity is so close, his hand touched my hand, and he had those hairy Robin Williams knuckles, you know what I mean? Like, the whole thing was a turn off.
You felt things in places you didn't.
I wasn't prepared for it. I
No JMO in the world.
I got humbled that day, dude.
That's so fucking funny.
We got humbled. No, I got humbled at that Buckeye game we played.
What do you mean?
You remember Brutus dogged me?
What?
You didn't see that Brutus the Buckeye dogged
No, I'm
What
in my
year-
own world every
what,
time.
What year season was this?
This was like a couple weeks ago. That was that show with Dennis where his mom was selling merch and we played the OSU game, and they at one point during the show they were bringing in the OSU cheerleaders to perform in front of the stage, which was like we were so excited about. We're playing with the actual OSU cheerleaders and dance team and all that. And as they're walking out with the players and everybody else, it's this whole big ordeal. And then, and I'm kind of indifferent towards like everything going on because I'm focusing on the show and getting ready to play. But then I saw Brutus, and it hit me like in the nostalgia. And
That was super fucking cool, dude.
Dude,
I was like, damn.
seeing Brutus
is it.
and
This is
the Goodyear blimp too. That's the same feeling, just
Literally,
nostalgia.
yeah, dude. It was like that whole day was just nuts. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like,
so
this is
cool.
fucking sick, man. Because I thought we were on Lane Avenue on those two little
I
stages.
thought we were going to be too. We were right outside the stadium,
Bro, like,
right outside the shoe.
right outside the doors. I was like, there's no way. It
was awesome.
We
Wow.
don't deserve to be here.
Right, and it's like, and then
Well, the funny thing is, you do deserve to be there.
thank you,
I
Guido
was
with
like-
the save.
You gotta-
I was like, man,
you
you're
gotta
gonna let me eat
change
free
the-
chicken wings and play music?
Right.
Shit. Hell yeah.
You're gonna give us roosters, dude? Let's
Damn,
go.
dog.
So I see Brutus, and I'm so excited. And it kind of it reminds me of when I was a kid, and see him on the TV, and I'm like, oh shit, look, everybody's Brutus on the mic. And then and I see him, he's taking a picture with a little kid. Some kid ran up to him, was like, can I get a picture with you? And obviously he's gonna take the picture. I knew he's going to go do something, but he takes the picture. And in my mind, I thought it'd be totally fine. I'm like, hey everybody, look over there, it's Brutus. Go get a picture with Brutus. And I didn't realize this fucking swarm of people just flood his ass.
Was that your... Dang, I didn't know that was your doing,
I
bro.
was on the mic and I was like, hey everybody, come on down and get a picture with Brutus. And like his handler or whatever was there, and
His handler.
like, he wasn't super excited.
He's a wild animal.
He
handler.
He wasn't very amped about this. He was looking at me waving.
handler.
I had messed up a few times during the show. I kept telling people to come into the pit in front of us. I was like, we're not going to bite you. Come on in here. And then I didn't realize that they fenced it off for the dancers. So people kept coming in like, no, you can't be in here. And I'm like, come on in. It's fine. And it's like, mind you, like we've been there since 6 in the morning.
Starting a rally, fucking 7 a.m.
It wasn't cold yet, though, was it?
It was
freezing.
cold as shit.
I played that whole show in a sweater and playing drums, man.
It was rough. And
it was
so
cold.
at one point during the set, there's an acoustic or an instrumental part of the song. So I'm thinking, oh, now I got time to run and jump off the stage and go sneak a picture with Brutus myself. Because he's got this line of people that is just one after another, kid after kid after kid after kid. And I run up from behind and I was like, hey, Brutus. I tapped him on his phone or whatever. And I was like, hey, man, can I get a picture? And he turns around and looks at me, because he can't talk. He's in the suit. He's full on action mode. He looks at me, and then he just points down to the massive line of people and shakes his head real comically. And I was like, oh, shit, all right. So then I just kind of start backing up like that Homer Simpson meme. I'm just like backing up towards the stage like, my bad, I'm sorry. And people were yelling at him, Brutus, that's the singer of the band. He just jumped off the stage. Take a quick picture with Brutus. He's only got a second. It's in between songs. Quick, come on, Brutus, come on. And he turns and looks at me, and he points at me, points at the line, crosses his arm and just shakes his head like, fuck nobody. And at first I was like, oh, damn, I got dogged by Brutus. But then I realized after talking to some people, I'm
Not
like,
really.
I think I might have messed up his workflow is what
For
happened.
sure, dude. Because he's not going to tell a line of people to fuck off. Like,
Yeah, he can't talk.
He's Brutus.
his handler's not going to tell him to fuck off.
They're going to see him on the side of the stadium, like smoking a cigarette, just like, oh my God, that was my nom. There was 80,000 kids who wanted a photo.
Wow.
That line was huge. I thought that he was there to do pictures by the...
No. That was my bad.
You fucking ruined his
I'm
day.
sorry, man. Brutus, if you're listening, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean it.
There you go. There
That's
you go.
hilarious.
That's
That
good
was
karma.
hilarious.
That's
Just
good
excited.
karma with the public apology like
Dude,
that.
I literally
Nice.
did not know that was your doing, though. That's so fucking funny.
The DJ too. I forget what his name was, what his real name was. But
Skrillex.
he introduced us as Zootopia. He was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Zootopia," which isn't the first or the last time that's going to happen because it's actually a pretty popular movie, which happens to be a lot more popular than us. And it's a decent movie.
I like that you have an apostrophe and not a G at the end of the name.
Oh, we had to change. You check this out. I wrote what I'm wearing because I found this in the move too.
Oh, wow,
This
that's a
is
classic.
the original Zoo Trippin T-shirt. And I'm sorry, Zoo Trip.
Yeah.
Because it used to just be Zoo Trip.
That's awesome, dude.
Where'd you get the graphic?
My buddy Tommy Peach, I went to high school with, did the very first Zoo Trippin show poster, which was a Susie Q show.
Oh, wow.
And we put this image on the T-shirt, and he went on to become a famous special effects makeup artist for horror movies. He was on that show Face Off.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And
cool,
he
man.
does insane art, man. Yeah. But we were Zoo Trip at the time, but we had to change it because we always joked about it's like naming your band internet porn. Because it's so vague, you're just not going to find. You look up Zoo Trip and it's just people on a trip to the zoo.
Yeah.
So we added the
Zoo Trip. That's a good band name, though. But Zoo Trippin's good, too.
Yeah, we called it Zoo Trip initially. Well, Len, because you're an awesome, and I consider us friends at this point.
We are friends, Tony Casa.
I'll tell you,
absolutely.
The real reason why we call it, because we like to do like every time people ask about where the band name come from. I don't know if we told you this or not.
No.
Because anytime like any press or anybody
No,
asks
my
about
grandma
that,
actually asked me. She's like, "Where the hell did they get that here?" And I was like, "I don't fucking know. They're probably tripping at this fucking zoo. Who knows?"
right? If only it were so simple, and it is. Like we always make up a story every time somebody asks us. We make up a story on the spot and just see where it goes.
My God.
But that's all it was. Is like we used to just like
evolved to that.
We used to just eat little mushrooms, little ass, go to the zoo, have a great time. And that's where it came from. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
I think you're the first person that we've actually told the true story to.
Well, I feel honored.
Well, salute. Same team. Mi familia.
Zoo Trippin has a new drummer. His name is Dennis Mann, 2 N's.
Yes, sir.
Go see this band. They are fun. They're full of energy. They're in a transitional mode with a new player and whatnot, but nonetheless, they got stuff on the horizon. Be peeled.
I feel like the new stuff is going to be fun, full of funk.
Oh,
It's going to be very groovy.
I personally can't wait. I know there's other people looking for new music too, and so only wish you guys the best. Come back.
Thank you. Yeah.
Come back.
Real quick, though, show promo.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, do it.
So, Zoo Trippin will be playing New Year's Eve with Bear Fuzz at the Summit Music Hall for the Weird Music 10-year anniversary. And it's Zoo Trippin's 10-year anniversary this year as well. But Dennis, tell us where you're going to be playing as well. You're playing with who and where?
Oh, I'm going to be in Washington Courthouse at a small little Elks Lodge.
Can the people come and see you?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it's open to the public.
If they can, where would they find that information?
Google the Elks Lodge in that town.
Facebook for sure.
Something
That's
like
probably,
that?
Give
Yeah.
the Elks Lodge a call.
Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. They're usually not open to the public, but I think for New Year's Eve, they're trying to fucking rack in some money.
All right. Well, if you can't come see Dennis down there in Courthouse, come see us at the Summit Music Hall, and then we'll
With
have
the
something with
OG.
Dennis in January,
with the OG
right?
drummer, old Steve,
Oh,
huh?
that's soon. That's soon in January. You guys will be out.
Yeah, we got some
17th,
things
That's the
coming.
game plan.
Yeah,
So you
17th,
have
yeah.
something on the books.
It's not officially
it's
confirmed.
in the works.
Yeah,
in the works. Okay, so early next year. Keep your eyes peeled, folks.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a good time.
This has been fun. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. Zoo Trippin. We have Tony Casa and Dennis Mann. Keep your eyes peeled for these guys. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.